This past autumn gave way to a harsh winter that settled over the forests of Florida. Snow fell heavily, blanketing every corner in white. Yet the wild boars remained the greatest threat. Steel fences around the gardens had been rammed down, and the cabbage fields were torn apart and left in ruins. Losses climbed to nearly 75%, leaving the locals with almost no hope as harvest season approached. Unable to stand by and watch a year's worth of hard work be destroyed, we prepared ourselves to set out and restore peace. At daybreak, under cold that cut straight to the bone, we were already prepared to head out. 30 minutes later, we reached the hunting zone. Every one of us carried the same determination: to eliminate the fierce threats lurking in the snow. Within moments, the targets appeared, and the instant the opportunity opened, we didn't hesitate. A gunshot cracked through the frozen air. A few targets went down, but the wild boars didn't stop there. They bolted at full speed, desperately searching for a way to escape. Not willing to give them another chance to devastate the farmers' fields, I sent a signal through the radio. On the other end, bursts of gunfire erupted along with triumphant cheers. The grueling opening battle felt like a surge of adrenaline, fueling the entire team for the hunts yet to come. With years of hunting experience and a deep understanding of wild boar behavior, we knew they would surge out to bask in the sun once it climbed high. And just as expected, another target appeared. We quickly moved into position, took aim, and fired. The critical shot dropped the animal instantly, motionless on the ground. One precise trigger pull saved this land from the destructive hooves of these fierce beasts. We gathered the catch without delay and moved on to the next location. The four-legged companions of our journey had finally come into play. We unleashed the hunting dogs, and they shot forward like bolts of lightning. It didn't take long before barks echoed through the forest, clear signals that they had picked up the scent and were driving the wild boars straight toward our ambush. At the front line, James had secured the perfect position. The moment a dark figure burst down the hillside, he didn't hesitate for even a heartbeat. A sharp crack split the air. The bullet tore forward, but against the power and rugged build of the beast, it managed to break free. That moment became a reminder for the entire team. Skill and strategy must always be sharpened if we want to triumph in hunts as demanding as these. After the thunderous shots echoed through the forest, an eerie silence settled over the land. Yet those shadows were still hiding deep within the thick underbrush. Wasting no time, we began sweeping every inch of the area, refusing to overlook even the slightest movement. There you are. I tightened my grip on the rifle and pulled the trigger. blast ripped through the stillness, reverberating across the woods. The target collapsed within seconds. The dogs erupted in triumphant barks, joined by cheers from the team. Clear signs of a successful ambush. Every carefully planned tactic had paid off. And once again, the peace of this land was protected, intact, and unbroken. After minutes of waiting with no further signs, we regrouped and decided to push deeper toward the forest's edge. From a distance, a dark figure emerged against the sweeping curtain of white snow. James reacted in a split second, swiftly chambering around before firing a decisive shot. The fleeing boar dropped instantly. Even in an unexpected encounter, our team maintained complete control of the situation. As dusk settled over the forest, our team began packing up our weapons and gear, getting ready to head home, when suddenly a target emerged from behind the thick brush. In an instant, a surge of anger rushed through me. Determined not to let them wreak havoc on the villagers' hard-earned crops again, I unleashed several rounds from my rifle, putting an end to the threat once and for all. We gathered the final trophy of the day and loaded it onto the Ford. With complete satisfaction, the hunting team left the deep woods behind, restoring safety to the entire village and stopping the wild boars just in time. Which shot was the most intense and memorable for you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share to keep our team motivated for the next hunt. We had no intention of hunting anything today. It was supposed to be just a simple patrol, checking the trails, and enjoying the fields during harvest season. Then suddenly, the silence was torn apart. Not far from us, a wild boar was rampaging through the crops, destroying everything in its path. We couldn't let a creature this dangerous roam near the camp. One quick phone call, and the entire team was mobilized. This opportunity, or rather this threat, turned our quiet walk into an unavoidable hunt. The tense chase had begun. We arrived at the field immediately. Weapons ready, the team spread out, determined not to let a single aggressive target escape. Then, just as we expected, that familiar dark shadow appeared. I held my breath, loaded my rifle, aimed, and pulled the trigger. Boom! The shadow fell to the ground. It seemed the day had started off well. Don't take your eyes off the screen. Things were about to get even more intense. We began tracking the next target. Beep. Beep. Less than 5 minutes later, the tracker sounded continuously. We rushed toward the location where the boar was hiding. From a distance, we could already hear the sound of branches snapping and trees breaking. Facing such a brutal destroyer, I didn't hesitate. Boom. A single bullet was all it took to bring it down. The fields were in danger. Any hesitation would mean greater losses. Every move we made became more urgent and precise. Meanwhile, on another patrol route, Jack suddenly spotted movement. The dark shadow charged forward like an arrow. The tension was unbearable. Seizing the moment, Jack fired. The first shot missed. The boar kept running. But Jack quickly steadied his aim. The second shot hit perfectly. The beast collapsed, restoring calm to the field once again. By afternoon, we received reports that a herd of boars had moved closer toward the village outskirts. We entered the boundary fields, areas that attract the boars with leftover crops, but also serve as perfect traps for our operation. The target appeared. A burst of gunfire echoed through the air. It refused to give up, but luck doesn't strike twice. The next shot finished it. Another decisive victory for us. Rustle. A faint noise from the distance caught our attention. Just as we expected, another boar darted swiftly out from the bushes. There was no time to hesitate. My heart pounded. The pressure was suffocating. If I didn't act fast, it would escape, and the fields would be in danger again. Boom. The bullet found its mark. One perfect shot, clean and precise. A sudden, flawless takedown. What do you think of that shot? Don't forget to share your thoughts with us.
Bravo, yeah.
As the sun began to set, we started heading back toward the village, but our vigilance remained high. Even a single moment of distraction could lead to bitter failure. And just when we thought the day was over, it wasn't. Crossing through a cornfield, another target appeared. A burst of gunfire rang out, cutting off its escape. In the end, victory was ours once again. The boar couldn't withstand the power of our rifles. The exhausting hunt concluded with a truckload of trophies, proof of a hard-fought success. Today, we embark on a challenging hunting journey, one that demands razor-sharp focus and absolute respect for nature. This hunt isn't about thrill or randomness. It's about balance. We're here to help manage the health and population of the wild deer herd, especially by harvesting mature bucks who've reached their prime. It's our responsibility as population stewards to ensure the next generation of deer thrives. Before the sun even crested the horizon, we were already out there, gearing up, laying out plans, and preparing ourselves for today's conquest. Every bullet fired today is a life or death battle against the wild deer of this land. Can we come out victorious? Stick around until the end to find out. The terrain today is no joke. Open visibility, but long shooting distances. We had to go prone, pressing into the cold earth, crawling along the hillside to find that perfect shooting angle. Then there he was, the first target, a dominant buck, standing proud with a long, majestic rack. I took aim. No room for error. One mistake and he'd be gone. Boom. The shot was calculated perfectly. The massive animal collapsed instantly, tumbling in one clean roll down the slope. A flawless start, professional hunting at its finest. The hunt pressed on, and the challenges got tougher. We entered rough terrain, dry brush and wild shrubs, forming endless hiding spots. My seasoned instincts kicked in. Big game always knows how to hide. Just as I suspected, something moved in the tangle of dry branches. A deer was using the ridge's natural blind to disappear. But you can't hide from trained eyes. No hesitation. The shot rang out, clean, decisive. Another hidden buck down. In hunting, tracking skills matter just as much as marksmanship. Not long after, another deer appeared. With a clear line of sight, I locked on and positioned myself. In hunting, every shot is a promise of respect, and a promise to succeed. Boom! Another clean harvest. No time to rest. Another large buck, separated from the herd, was grazing peacefully in front of us at the perfect range. I aimed confidently. This should be a clean takedown. The first shot hit, but he stumbled, didn't fall. Nearby deer heard the gunshot and bolted, turning the scene into a dust-filled frenzy. The wounded buck vanished into the chaos, but he couldn't escape. I tracked his staggering shadow through the whirlwind. Another shot cut through the stampede and the dust, bringing him down for good. In the end, it's patience and precision that decide who wins in this life-and-death game. Nope. Still no break. We moved slowly into a tall grass field. Always in ready mode. Near the forest edge, another herd was feeding. Target acquired. Finger on the trigger. Boom. The herd scattered in panic. Loud energy bursting in every direction. It was chaos, yet that's where a true hunter thrives. Stay calm in the storm. One by one, we brought them down with precision. As the day neared its end and we returned toward base, we'd already harvested enough. But a real hunter's awareness never drops. Suddenly, a large buck spotted us and bolted, racing across the open field. No time to think, only time to act. I locked in, took the shot, and brought him down before he vanished out of range. The mission was complete. Chaotic hoof prints etched deep into the dry earth, crushed grass scattered everywhere. We knew instantly a zebra herd had passed through here. But this time, the lead stallion wouldn't be easy to take down. Locals called it the ghost of the savannah. It always knew how to vanish into the morning mist, leaving behind a challenge for anyone daring enough to pursue it. We set out before dawn, driven by determination and a strategy we discussed all night. A hunt like this requires not just strength, but patience and an intimate understanding of your prey. This time, ours was exceptionally clever. Follow us and see how it unfolds. Under the scorching sun, we hid behind an old tree, watching as a herd of zebras grazed peacefully in the open field. They were alert, but hadn't yet sensed our presence. I signaled my partner to stay perfectly still. Every movement had to be calculated. When one of them strayed from the group, I aimed carefully and pulled the trigger. The gunshot cracked through the silence. The zebra fell instantly. The others bolted in panic. Our teamwork came not only from training, but from hundreds of times facing life and death together. Zebras are creatures of strict order, always led by a dominant one, while the rest follow at a measured distance. From the hillside, I studied every movement below. The leader stood out, not just for its size, but for its wariness. It grazed cautiously, scanning every direction. I tightened my grip and squeezed the trigger. A sharp crack echoed. The herd scattered in chaos, while the leader bolted the opposite way. But after a few dozen meters, it staggered and collapsed. For a hunter, victory doesn't come from luck. It comes from a mind that reads its prey. Peace didn't last long. John and I raised our scopes again, eyes locked on the herd. Even from a great distance, the zebras seemed to sense us. The herd froze. Not wasting the moment, I fired. The thunderous blast shattered the stillness. One at the edge of the group was hit. It tried to flee with the others, but fate had already been sealed. Out here in the wild, speed and precision mean everything. For a hunter, sometimes victory is earned in a single heartbeat of calm. From the high ridge, we took aim down into a hollow where the zebras slowly moved in. Clear line of sight, every movement within range. I steadied my breath, adjusted my scope, then squeezed the trigger. The bullet whistled through the air and struck one near the center of the herd. It stumbled, staggered, then darted into the bushes. Instantly, the herd erupted in chaos. Hooves pounding as they fled the area. No need to take them all. This was enough. In a hunt, sometimes all it takes is fear to make the prey never return. Yet moments later, a few more fell in our sights.
Awesome.
The midday sun blazed across the plains from the shade of a distant tree. John and I silently tracked every motion. The zebras grazed, unaware of our gaze. I carefully aligned my shot and fired. The sharp crack sliced through the still air. One was hit. It stumbled and darted toward the bushes, while the herd broke apart in panic. Under this burning sun, a hunter needs more than just a rifle. He needs clarity and perfect precision. By late afternoon, the sun still blazed, but our hunt wasn't over. From afar, we spotted a herd standing across a dirt path locals often used. The zebras seemed to challenge our patience. Without hesitation, I took aim and fired. Bang! Clean, quick, precise. One fell instantly, sending the rest fleeing into the wilderness. Remember, when facing nature, unless you're a true hunter, never provoke it. Otherwise, you might become the hunted. The vast Maasai savanna, once a peaceful land where humans and nature coexisted in harmony, had fallen into chaos. For months, a pride of massive lions had spread terror across the plains, tearing apart even the largest prey and evading every pursuit. This was no longer a hunt. It was a battle for survival, a fight to protect the village. For us hunters, this journey was the only path: reclaim peace or be devoured by the king of the grasslands. Every weapon, every piece of modern equipment was brought into play. Everything was on the line for today's life-or-death mission. At dawn, our team advanced toward the eastern plains, where the colossal lions were hiding. The tension was palpable, but there was no fear. Even if blood had to be shed, success was our only option. A long-range ambush plan was put into motion. Tracking devices quickly pinpointed movement. In the distance, the sharp, cold eyes of the Jungle King came into view through my scope. I held my breath. Every move had to be precise and cautious. I took aim, locked on target. Boom! The shot struck true, straight into a vital point. The beast collapsed instantly. A sigh of relief swept through the team. A successful start, but the road ahead was still fraught with danger. At that same moment, James had his own encounter with another monstrous lion. The thunder of approaching footsteps made everyone's hearts race. Its strength was beyond imagination. As the beast appeared through the trees, James took the shot before it could charge at us. If he missed, the consequences would have been disastrous. But he didn't. The giant fell instantly. we decided to push deeper into the forest, the lair of the biggest predators. Danger lurked at every step. Through the binoculars, the cold, ruthless face of another lion emerged. From 100 meters away, I studied it carefully. Everything was ready. I pulled the trigger, and the bullet struck true. Another successful takedown. No matter how dangerous the target, we would face it for the peace of our village. The sun blazed overhead. We were exhausted, but our determination never faltered. Scanning the terrain, no one dared make a mistake. Then suddenly, movement. Another massive lion was hiding among the trees. No time to think, a dry crack echoed through the silent air. The beast dropped with a single shot. That gunshot was not just a victory, it was a warning to every bloodthirsty predator out there. We won't forgive their terror. As dusk approached, our time was running out. The team regrouped and pressed harder. The gunfire had already alerted the pride, making the hunt more difficult. While moving along the edge of the plain, a lion suddenly burst out of nowhere. An ambush! Our hearts nearly stopped. A huge gap in our defense had been exposed. Thankfully, Jack kept his cool and stopped the beast before it could strike. What a close call. Was that intense enough for you? Let us know in the comments. After that incident, we switched to Plan B, a coordinated strike, surround and attack while maintaining defense. Every move was calculated with utmost caution. Through the scope, I spotted a lion moving through the tall grass, our next target. No rash moves. I followed its every step. The perfect moment came. Headshot. Another clean victory for the day. Looks like Plan B worked perfectly. The radio crackled again. The beast was nearby. Fire. Jack pulled the trigger. A direct hit, but not enough. The wounded lion fled into the dense forest. The hunt wasn't over yet.